Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Faith Over Fears podcast. I want to give you a thank you and a God bless to all of you being here and listening in to the podcast today. Now, I know you guys are expecting a small story or a story time, but unfortunately, I don't really have one, but I will give you some updates and information about the Faith Over Fears news. Now, the Faith Over Fears news is a section that we like to do mostly in the evenings of our Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. And it kind of keeps everyone up to date with current events and situations that have occurred politically and during the pandemic, and just stuff like that. So if you haven't already and you like to stay up with news, go ahead and check that out. That's a great way to get some information about news. And now moving right along into the hat questions for today. The first question is, what do you hope to see in your future? I won't lie, that's an interesting question because I have a lot of things in mind, but I'll just kind of go with more of my current objectives, and that is to, one, buy some land, and not necessarily a house, but just land, because I feel that would be a bit cheaper for me because I would be able to build what I want in a house rather than buying a house and getting what I get, which may seem bad, but in my opinion, I think it's better because then I would learn lots of other skills and techniques about building houses, woodworking, stuff like that. So I think it would be a great idea for me to do that. And then secondly, I would also love to start a garden and just live off of that garden. Producing my own food and just staying healthy and active would basically make me, one, obviously a more healthier person, but I feel like it'll bring up my mood so much. And I mean, who doesn't need a little bit of a mood booster sometimes? So next question, this is kind of funny. It's, what is your plan B for your future, and should you have a plan B for your future? I personally do not have a plan B for my future. And the reason why I don't feel people should have plan Bs, and if you do, don't worry, I'm not saying you shouldn't. Plan Bs are good for certain scenarios, but if you have a plan B, your confidence in your life in general, or even whatever you're doing, like your work or your kids or whatever, it doesn't seem like you have much confidence in it. You know, you're already waiting and preparing for things to go wrong. And I feel like having a bit of faith in your life can most likely help that, you know, and it's not bad having a plan B, but for me personally, I like to go in the moment, you know, and if there's a situation or a problem that occurs, then I hit it straight on, you know. I don't want to worry about it, because if I'm worrying about it, that makes that problem more likely to occur because of my mindset. Now, I won't lie, I'm kind of being hypocritical here because I do not, with other things, I'm not very good at being faithful and having confidence in what I'm doing. But in my opinion, I feel like that's the way I should start living. And for some of you, I feel like it should be, you know, kind of a goal to set, you know, like I'm going to go as far as I can into this pathway, you know, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And that's fine, because you have so many more opportunities then to rearrange your puzzle piece in your life. This next question asks, what are your expectations for a lifetime job? And personally, I don't like the word job because job is more of like, it feels like it's the same word as a chore. Now, when you say chore or job, it's just not like, it's not that it shouldn't be exciting, but it's just not like something that it's like, oh yeah, I wake up and I go to my job, you know, but I feel like it should be that way. So what my expectations are, as long as I'm doing good for other people and myself, and I'm having a good time doing it. Those are my expectations, which is, I won't lie, it is a lot to ask for in a job because there's so many jobs where they require things that kind of go in the gray area of those expectations. You know, for my true expectations, I just want to do good for other people and myself, but also have a good time while doing it. Because if you're truly doing a job that you like, you'll never have to work in your life. It'll just be fun every day. and some days it's not going to be like that every day, because even at your favorite place to work, you're going to have down times and down days where it's just a bit slower. And that's fine, because everyone has those days, and it shouldn't be like, you shouldn't expect to be this perfect person with a perfect job, because with that, your expectations are higher at an impossible reachable goal. So that's my thought on that. The next question that I have is a question that asks, on a scale of 1 to 10, how weird are you? 10. Hands down, 10. Because when I'm truly being myself, I know I can be the weirdest dude in the room. And I enjoy that, because I love being weird. I love making it to where I look goofy so I can make other people have a good time, laugh, enjoy themselves. Okay? Because if I'm not being weird, then I'm truly not being myself, and I'm trying too hard to hide myself and my true self from others, which, we shouldn't do. So the last question that I have for this podcast is, should we all strive to be bilingual? I love this question, because I honestly feel like every country needs to do way better at teaching, obviously, their first language, but then automatically teaching a second language. Now, it may seem that it could possibly get very difficult with that kind of expectation, but as far as, we'll start with health. Health-wise, I was told by my Spanish teacher in junior year that learning a second language decreases your chances of getting any sort of brain malfunction, cancer, certain things like that. Now, don't quote me on that, because I'm not 100% sure that that's true. But besides, health-wise, it's also so beneficial with, connection with other people from different countries, because if you know someone else's language, that's almost showing, respect, as in, hey, I don't know if you know my language, but I learned yours, so I could talk to you and understand you better. And sometimes that might not be the full purpose and the full case about it. You might need it for a certain job, and that's fine, but, it's all about connection with other people without having to deal with a language barrier. Because I have been to Brazil twice and Africa once, and it was I was disappointed in myself, mostly because I wasn't able to talk to any of these people, and yet they spoke English to me to help further connect and relate to me better. And I was just amazed and really happy that they took time out of their life and their problems to learn a language, so then when we came down, they would be able to connect and relate with us so much better. So that's why I think we should all strive to be somewhat bilingual, or at least know, 1 to 2 different languages. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for today's episode, guys. But once again, thank you all for being here and listening to the Faith Over Fears podcast. I would encourage you to not read just one Bible verse, but I would like for you guys to go somewhere, say a quick prayer to God, and then open your Bible to a random page and read at least 3 verses of that page. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope that Bible verse or Bible verses touches you guys in an amazing way for your future. And as always, guys, God bless and see ya.